Welcome back to the channel. So you were sitting there, you're looking for a PenFed credit card hacks to trigger immediate approval, right? So here are the steps I want you to follow right now. Boss, the first thing I want you to do is to update your income. See, the whole thing is people talk about, well, how does updating my income have an effect on immediate credit card approval? Well, it does have an effect. You know why? Because PenFed has an algorithm, and the algorithm will look into a lot of factors based on your financial situation. And if you are able to update your income, this is pretty good. The funny thing is, you probably were like, you became a member of PenFed 10 years ago or 5 years ago. And I always say this to our viewers and our customers. Listen, when you joined PenFed 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you were making X amount of cash, your salary. Chances are, if things go the proper way, 10 years later or 5 years later, you're not making the same amount of money. You're making more. So you got to really update your records here. This is very important because the PenFed's algorithm will look at your income, your updated income, and pay attention to your DTI. Okay, they do something called approximate DTI, your debt to income ratio, and your income is part of that, is integral to that equation. This is why it's really important to always update your income. If you update your income, what's going to happen here is that you're going to stand better chances of being approved, okay? And how do you actually update your income? You have a lot of ways to do it, okay? You can go to a branch, which is our preferred method, but some people don't like going to a branch. I ain't got no time, I'm busy, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I get it. Listen, I get it. If you are busy, not a problem. You can pick up the phone and have a conversation with the PenFed rep and tell them, hey, listen, I'm just making money now. I'm just chilling. I just want y'all to update your records because I used to make 40 grand. Now I'm making 60. Could you please update my records for me? So that's one way of doing it. Or you can just go online right now. Open your PenFed dashboard and go to your account, and you will see there is a spot where it says you want to update your income or you want to update your personal info. You can do it there as well. Or you can use the app. See, the funny thing is, a lot of folks don't like the PenFed app, but it's a great app. It's a great app, and it does what it's supposed to do. See, the whole thing is people always compare and contrast PenFed to NavyFed and whatnot, but this is not the problem here is that PenFed it's not a problem. I mean, the situation here is that PenFed has a great app. Just use it to update your income. That's all I care about. Update your income, boss. Now, one thing I want to say here though, if you go to a branch, make sure that you show proof of your income. Not just walking around trying to dazzle people, say, I'm making 60 grand, but you can't prove it. What's up with that? If you say you are making X amount of cash, make sure you can prove it. The second thing I want you to really do here is that, boss, if you want to actually improve your chances of being approved for a credit card, a PenFed credit card, bring up your good credit history with PenFed. So when you go to a branch, because everything happens at a branch. I know it can happen over the phone also, but we love face-to-face communication. If you're trying to increase your chances of getting a loan, a PenFed loan or a PenFed credit card, you want to get into the habit of talking to real people who can make a decision. So go to a branch. I want you to bring your ass to the branch right now, and you want to bring up your good credit history with PenFed. In other words, you want to talk about if you have a history of loans repaid, loans that you got and repaid. That's a great thing here. We're not talking about your credit score. We are speaking about your relationship, your credit relationship with PenFed, exclusively with PenFed. Okay. Talk about your current loans that are outstanding. Do you have loans that are currently outstanding? What is the payment history of that? Are you current? You want to mention, it's all about mentioning the stellar relationship that you have with PenFed. Talk about the diversity of credit products. You're trying to tell PenFed, hey, listen, I'm a responsible borrower. I can borrow a line of credit when it was active, and I repaid it very well. I was very good on that. I can get a loan from you guys, and I can repay it. I'm a responsible borrower. I have your credit cards. I'm a good borrower. I always repay on time. I always pay on time. And you also want to mention your status as a PenFed member. See, I'm sharing with you unconventional tips and hacks that people don't talk about because people think when it comes to credit, you always have to have a good FICO score and that's it. No. No way, Jose. I'm talking to you now, standing on the shoulders of our team who has more than 30 years dealing with PenFed. And what I'm sharing with you here are hacks, tips and tricks we have learned over the last 3 decades, boss. So you want to talk to PenFed and talk about your status as a member. Have you been a good customer? Have you been a good member? If yes, you want to mention that. Does your family have also accounts with PenFed? Your wife, your husband, your children, do you have children's account, minor accounts with PenFed? Mention all. I want you to mention the constellation of products, of data points that you have with PenFed, to actually make them look at your profile a little differently, so that you can always get the credit card that you need and the limit that you need. Boss, the third thing I want you to do if you want to trigger immediate approval on credit cards, credit card applications, is you want to show your long job tenure. What is that? Well, this is a long word just to say, listen, I've been in the same job for the last 10 years. I've been in the same job for the last 20 years. My job is secure. And I want you all to know about that. So when you go to a branch, you want to bring that up. Okay, I'm not asking you to bring it up the way I do here, because I just add a little bit of drama, whatever, quote unquote drama to it. But when you go to a branch, I want you to be presentable. I want you to dress I want you to be on your Sunday. Okay, and you want to talk about, hey, listen, I've been in this job for a while now, and I believe I have the stability. I have the experience in the industry. Okay, if you have rare skills, you want to mention that. See, the thing here is that when we talk about credit is a game. And credit is all about impression. First impressions always count. People talk about, well, they are gonna look at your credit score and make a determination based on that. Well, that's because your ass is applying online, so they're not looking at you. They're not seeing you. If they see you, they'll look at other factors before making a decision. That's the thing. So you want to mention your experience in the industry. If you have rare skills that you can parlay into a higher paying job, you want to mention that too. And if you can bring your resume to a branch as well. The funny thing is, people will be like, yeah, I know, people, I expect that already. My team expects the fact that some people will be putting some nasty comments about, he's talking about resume in a business, in a credit card application, or in a loan application. Why is he mentioning resume? Well, you know what? Hey, boss, your resume plays an important role. Because your resume tells the lender, in this case PenFed, whether you have positive job prospects or not so good or less than stellar job prospects. So if you have what we call professional goodies, mention them. If you have credentials, mention them. It's all about putting all the eggs in your side of the basket, on your side of the basket. That's what it is. Okay, so when you go to, that's why we always say you want to go to a branch to actually, everything happens at the branch. Nowadays people are so busy. I'm just busy as hell. I have my 9 to 5. I ain't got no time. Well, if you have no time, then you will never be approved. I mean, you could be approved, but you are going to get tiny ass limits. $2,000, $5,000. How about that? How about that? When you compare that to your very busy ass. You have no time to go to a branch. Go to a branch and talk to a manager or an assistant manager. Talk about your long job tenure. Bring up your good credit history with PenFed. Update your income, boss. And when we talk about updating income, understand me well. I'm not speaking about only a full-time job. I'm talking about all sources of income. Boss, I really want this to be clear. People talk about, well, I'm making $40,000. That's my full-time job. But what about your passive income? Do you have side gigs? Are you driving for Uber over the weekend? Are you making money from, do you have the dividend income? Okay. Are you getting, let's say, capital gains because the stock you bought, the Shopify stock you bought last year now has tripled in value? I'm using hypothetical values here though. The stock has not tripled. Okay. The whole thing I'm trying to say here is that when you give a number to PenFed, when you mention, hey, listen, I used to make $40,000. You guys still have me at $40,000 in the system. Now I'm making $70,000. I'm not just talking about your full-time income. I'm speaking about your full-time income plus your other sources of income. You got to give PenFed an aggregate number. You got to give PenFed a total number. Okay. And if you have one-time gains in stocks bonds or crypto for that matter, mention that. Have you won the lottery? Mention that. So the whole thing here is that you want to look at last year's tax return for information. You know why? Because ideally you want to be truthful with the IRS, and you should anyway. So whatever you reported to the IRS as your income should be the truth when it comes to your income, because on your tax return, on your 1040, you have to report everything, right? You have to report your W-2 wages, your 1099-G, 1099 NEC, 1099 MIS, 1099 blah blah blah. And if you let's say you made some money on a side gig, you have to report that on your Schedule C. So my point is, if you go back to your 1040 of last year, you should have a good starting point to know exactly where you were at, exactly in terms of your income last year. So that's the amount you want to communicate to PenFed. Okay, because the good thing is, when the funny thing is, I said before, you want to show proof of employment, right? Remember? So if you go to a branch and you say, listen, this year or last year or this year, I'm making 80 grand. And you bring your 1040 with you, and you can show them, hey, listen, here's a proof. They can see on your 1040 that last year you made 78 grand, which is not really far from 80 grand. They see that you're making 80 or 75 or what have you, but at least they will see a correlation between what you're saying and what you're proving. And this is what you want anyway. The next thing I want you to do, boss, here is that, we are still having a conversation about the rare latest hacks that trigger immediate approval when it comes to PenFed credit card application, especially if you're looking for high limits. Boss, I want to talk to you about your good MPR with PenFed. Oh yeah, we love MPR here. Do you have a good relationship with PenFed? If you do, boss, I want you to really mention that. When you go to a branch, please mention that. Sometimes it's important to bring those things up. You might be thinking, well, you know what? It's not important. It's not relevant. Well, one thing you don't know is that the customer rep that you speak to has to put data in your record, has to put comments, has to put some observations in your records. And you want an observation to be around the fact that you have been a good PenFed customer for the last 10 years. How about that? For the last 15 years. How about that? For the last 2 years, 1 year, whatever. It doesn't matter. The thing is, you have been a loyal customer. Okay, so you want to mention how long you have been a customer, how long your family has been customers, because sometimes it's not just usually what we have seen in our research is that it's not one member, just one family member being a PenFed member. It's a whole family. Because of the fact that you can qualify through biology or through geography or whatever. So it's a whole family that has that has been serving the country for a while. So they're part of the same PenFed or Navy Fed for that matter. So my point here is what? You want to mention how long you have been customers, okay? Mention the diversity of accounts that you have with PenFed. Do you have a checking account? You sure must have anyway. Otherwise you wouldn't be a member in the first place. But do you have a savings account? Do you have an IRA with PenFed? What do you have? What do you got? Talk to me, boss. Talk to me. Talk to me. So if you have a diversity of accounts, I want you to mention that. If you have direct deposit with PenFed, mention that. And direct deposit should be able to substantiate, if need be, your income anyway, right? Because it's all about confirming that you are indeed making how much you say you are making. Okay, and you want to talk to what we love when it comes to PenFed credit card is what we call a prospective analysis. You want to talk about the future. Talk to PenFed about your future in terms of bringing more cash to them. The funny thing is, I know some people will be like, listen, this guy's just talking like he's talking whatever. Boss, this works. We've been doing this for so many years, and it works for our team members, but also for our clients. It's just amazing. It's insane how easy it is when you really understand how the game is played. So, boss, one thing I want to say here is that if you want to apply for a PenFed credit card, you always want to go to a branch. Now, by now, you know that we love going to the branch. And the thing is, you never want to apply for a PenFed credit card online or over the phone for that matter if you don't have stellar credit. The only time you apply for a PenFed credit card is if you have excellent credit. You are around 750. You are, you really are chilling. You are chilling in FICO world. But if you have something less than 700 or 750, you want to go to a branch. You are better off going to a branch. You are better off bringing your ass to a branch and having a conversation prior to applying for a PenFed credit card. And I'm telling you, whatever you say in that conversation will have an impact on your credit limits, on your approval odds. You can take that to the bank, to the nearest PenFed branch that I said it, because you have proof. We have proof. I personally, I have proof of what I'm saying because I've done it so many times, and I can't tell you my limits. You'll be like, wow, it's crazy. The funny thing is, people say, well, PenFed never gives limits above 25,000. I'm laughing my ass off because I have 6 digits on my PenFed credit card, 6 digits as limits. But if you ask anybody on YouTube, whatever, people will start telling you, hey, listen, PenFed will never go above a 25 grand. Same thing for Navy Fed. I have the same 6 digits on my Navy Fed credit card. So it is a formula you have to understand. It is a code you have to understand. So what I'm telling you, we've done it. We have taught others to do it. You go to a branch, you apply at a branch, and you want to bring along your tax returns. You want to bring along your pay stubs. You want to bring along your W-2. You want to bring along your proof of employment. Okay, it's all about making sure that they have everything they need so they never have to ask you for additional documentation. See, you are trying to make PenFed's job easy by bringing everything to them on a golden plate. Your golden plate. And guess what? They will be giving you a golden limits, credit card limits. That's what you want anyway. If you have bank statements from other institutions, you want to bring that too. It's all about making sure that you are prepared. You are showing PenFed that you have been prepared. You have done your homework. You are good to go. And you just are ready for the best credit limits possible. Before we close today's conversation, I want to give you a few pro tips. Okay, I really want to solidify your knowledge, and I want to make sure that you have a clear idea of how to play the game, the credit game at PenFed. See, one thing for sure is that if you are trying to get a PenFed credit card, you always want to look for PenFed credit card pre-qualification offer. See, everything starts from there. Now, PenFed does not have on their website a pre-qual link. They do have a pre-qual link for their personal loans. They used to have it for their line of credit also until they actually cut off that program, at least nationally in August, of this year. And so right now they still run their line of credit program, but they do it they do it locally, and it's a invite only. And what I want to say here is that you want to be in a situation where you seek pre-qualification first. And there are ways to actually see pre-qualification. Check your credit score. You want to mention to a PenFed rep that you would like to have a credit card pre-qual. Okay, and so what will happen here is that if you tell them your income and you tell them your desire for a pre-qual offer, they might send you pre-qual offers every now and then. As long as you have a good CUR, you maintain your good CUR, your good credit utilization ratio, and a good DTI. Okay, and this is what it is. And the whole thing here is that you have to update your income. Very important. You want to update your income. And what I want to say here also is that sometimes you might be looking for a PenFed credit card. Yes, but what if they don't give it to you? You can't just sit around and just sit there lethargically and just cry and be stressed about. No, if they do not approve your credit card application now, they might approve it in 6 months from now, 3 years from now. I mean, not 3 years, 3 months from now, 6 months from now. Okay, it's all about timing. In the meantime, what you can do is you can apply for other credit cards. I mean, PenFed is not the only credit union. You have Navy Fed, you have Service, you have Andrews, right? You have a lot of players out there. It's all about putting your eggs in different baskets, boss. It's all about diversifying your risks. It's all about diversifying the kind of products and services you get anyway. So what I'm trying to say here is that you do everything you can, but if it doesn't work out, because things happen in life, this is just how life is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. You always have to think about plan B, and your plan B should be to look for other credit cards if you cannot get a PenFed credit card approved at this point in time. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I was just talking to you about PenFed credit card application, some hacks, the latest hacks that you can apply if you want to get approved quickly. So update your income, bring up your good credit history with PenFed, show long job tenure, include all sources of income, mention your good MPR with PenFed, and go to a branch. Thank you so much for your attention. God bless you. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.